concept of separating one as an individual from your business really resonated with everybody. We appreciate that.
Oh,
Um,
good.
Richard Brock has said something that you mentioned to him years ago that really resonated that he'd like you to talk about. Richard, go ahead and ask your question.
You're on mute, Richard.
Yep, I got it. Okay, Rusty, years ago, I think it was even on your business card or whatever, but there's certain things you, like quitters never win and winners never quit, certain things, but this is right there, one of my core values. And you told me your motto was do the right thing right now. And
Right.
to me, life, the important decisions in any entrepreneurial things about critical path. Not everything's equally important. And I just love the clarity of that vision. Do the right thing right now. Did you not put that in your business card?
Yeah, it's in my business, all my business cards, my emails, everything. For the old timers on the call, you might remember when Ross Perot ran for president, and he used something very similar. And he had his campaign reach out to me to see if they could use it. They would credit me. I said, I don't want any of y'all can use this anytime you want to. You know, it's been a guiding principle for me.
Yeah.
And Richard, let me mention one thing about it, because the one thing it's misunderstood. It seems kind of egotistical when you first see it. If you don't know someone, that they put something like that under the card. It's been outrageous accountability, where people that know me, even employees, they'll come up and go, I don't think that was the right thing, or you're not moving. This is obvious. It needs to be done. And we're not doing it right now. And so it has clearly made me better.
Yeah.
Right?
Thank
And
you very much.
perseverance should never be misunderstood for a lack of a sense of urgency. That's how come those two have to go together. You have to have, entrepreneurs that don't have a sense of urgency are never going to reach their calling. Right.
I tell you priorities, because they'll focus on cleaning and organizing something when the room's burning.
That's right. That's exactly
where the action is.
So do the right thing and do it now.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Richard, for that. Peter Sannington, go ahead and ask your question, please.
Yeah, really appreciate, Rusty, your stories on perseverance. My first question that rose up in my gut, Rusty, was how do you know when you need to stop persevering on something? I'm sure there are many variables and that are included in that, but I'd love to hear your perspective on it.
Well, thank you, Peter. And I've got stories about persevering we didn't share here. We may share someday that are fun. First off, you might be asking the worst guy in the world, okay? Maybe I don't have that judgment, but let me tell you what I've learned, which is my favorite definition of perseverance. It's this guy Josh Shipp did, which is stubbornness with a purpose, okay? It's being stubborn, but with a purpose. And the thing I would tell you on quitting or pivot, there's a difference between quitting and pivoting, right? If you lose clarity to your purpose in your business, you may lose clarity to how you get there, but if you lose clarity to purpose, and you can change purpose, all the early technology in our space was not developed for the reason it was used or made famous. You can shift the business purpose, but if you can't gain clarity to a purpose, then it's time to quit with what you have. Pivoting's a different animal. If the market is coming to you, then you should hold on in most cases and not pivot. But if the market's moving away from you, it's changing, which our markets do, you have to pivot, whether those around you see that or not. And that's the responsibility of the CEO. You can develop that picture. You don't have to own it yourself. You have to own it. You don't have to have it. But it's really about being able to read the market you're after, I think. Is that helpful?
Yes, very much so. Appreciate it.
Okay. Great. Thank you, Peter. Seth Barnes, you had a question. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, Rusty, I really enjoyed this. I loved your personal approach and your stories. It spoke to me. I share the same problem you have of kind of loyalty and over perseverance. I was a wrestler, you know, and you never say quit. You just always,
Right.
you know, and my son has got the same problem. He's just too loyal sometimes. And so I look for, you know, I like what you said about accountability. You look for perspective and other people that maybe have a perspective that you don't have.
Right.
But your friend said, let it go. And I'm wondering, you know, at that point, you valued your own perspective more than theirs. Did you
Yeah.
did you see something that they didn't see? How do you know when to trust somebody else's perspective that maybe you need for accountability and it is time to pivot because they see something you don't see, or you see something they don't see?
Gosh, Seth, that's a great question. First, let me tell you, I think all of us will build greater companies if we hire wrestlers, gymnasts, and swimmers. Okay, that's all we need to do. Okay, but beyond that, that's a very good point. And what they did was give me release. And what I learned late in my career, I wish I'd known earlier, is we need accountability around the business whose responsibility is to grow revenues and make profits. And then we need accountability around ourselves, right? For people that are looking at where we're at our best and when we need to get out of our own way. And so often those become the same for us entrepreneurs, and it's very hard, right? So I've learned to grow, like Charlie. Charlie keeps me honest, but he's not an investor in anything I've done, right? I've not gone after that because I need that in my life. So the answer is, yeah, I did see something and it was worth this last piece of effort. The coaching that high schoolers are getting on how to develop their career, all of a sudden, everyone's gotten brilliant within the last 12 months and figured out it doesn't make sense to go get a bachelor in a social degree and run up $50,000 or $100,000 of that's a game, right? And so we have the ability to make a difference in that area. So I have to die on this hill. If I have no more resources and I have no more time, I will quit. Okay. But this particular hill, I have to die on. And that's what I've decided. I can't wake up the next morning and haven't not given everything I've got to that.
So you're
Right.
saying it correlates to mission. Like
Correlates to mission. When I see how pampered 5-star football players are, and of course I have my own personal experience. I should have been recruited for athletics out of high school, right? But I was at the end of a dirt road. So I'm going all the way back. You know, God builds these things in our lives to foreshadow. But young people should be recruited. You shouldn't have to go through and wander around in your career 10 years before somebody recruits you. And that's really what happens for the most part. You start off begging, and then if you're any good, you become recruited 10 years later. So that's a broken system. And digitally, I'm a big Moneyball freak. A lot of this is science. This can be done. Young people and their families, let me give you one example, because I respect the people on this. Some of the best and brightest in our whole community are here. Most of us took our kids on a whole bunch of campus tours, which was meaningless, and then told them, in our case, we told our kids they could go anywhere they wanted to go except Alabama. Right? But if you look at that, that's the worst advice. I didn't give any of the other youth I was coaching and working with, all the youth, I didn't give them that advice. I said, you need to find out where, you've been gifted. You need to start looking in spaces like that, and where you can excel, and concern yourself about what you'll be like 5 years from now. Right? So anyhow, I'll get off that bandwagon. But the point is, yes, this is mission. I've not lost clarity of purpose here. Okay. So, but I have gotten.
I think that's a good insight, is that it's not as an investor in your business, I'm going to say you should give it up. And you're saying, I have purpose here, and it's more important than the investment, than the business. I have to keep doing this. That's what I'm hearing. That's a great question. Thanks, Seth.
Thanks. in the interest of time, I'm going to ask Ryan's question here. Rusty, do you recall one or two specific signs that told you it was time to quit?
Yeah, one sign was when the board asked me to resign. That one was relatively clear to me. Okay. And then a couple other, another time was when it was clear that what I thought was maybe a 2-year journey, the market's going to jump up here and do this, was going to be a 10 years. It was still 10 years off. Okay. One other time I have been right and not executed at the volume, not had the capital. So this speed training, as an example, is now prevalent everywhere. Okay. But we weren't able to form it right. So once I see that I'm not going to be, I think we have to have that old GE idea, which is I need to be 1 or 2 in the market, even as I'm emerging, or the whole idea I can get 1% of this market and be the number 20th player in it. It just doesn't compute for me in what we do.
All right. We got 10 o'clock. John, thank you so much for, can you hear me okay?
I am.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for what you've done, John. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
It's always been
Charlie,
great.
one more comment. Can I say one more comment?
Yeah. Go ahead.
I just want to say that, and I mean this sincerely, you guys are all people that persevere. I understand that. That's what made this a challenging conversation for me, right? So I really respect you for that. It's important that we do persevere, but it is important to learn from each other on when to pivot, when to quit, and certainly how to create accountability in our life that covers our blind spots. So thank you all for being here.
Well, you
Thanks.
taught me something too, Rusty. I mean, this whole thing about perseverance and stubbornness with purpose is what I realized is that investors and entrepreneurs, we're most likely at cross purposes. Okay. You're really in it as an entrepreneur because you're on purpose to serve that market or community that you're after. As an investor, I'm there to serve you and really to make money on the deal. And if it doesn't make sense anymore, I'm not on your purpose. So I'm out. All right. So this is, I've learned a lot here. Thank you so much for sharing at such a intimate level here. You're a good man and you're a good friend, and I love you very much. Thank you all for coming. I appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Have a good one. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.